Hello everyone. So in the previous video, we have created the training database. Under that, we have created one table called employee table, and there we have inserted a row for the first record with the employee name as Pawan. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create some more records using the insert query. See here, I'm trying to create these many records. Okay. So you know how to write this query. Insert into the table name and then values. You need to know how many columns are there. So if you click here employee, you will be having the columns ID, employee name, employee age and city. 1, 2, 3, 4 columns are there. So now the first one is the ID and then employee name and then employee age and then city. So now I am trying to execute these statements. So now if you go here, execute all selection, click on that, then automatically if you see all the queries got executed. Now I wanted to see the records from this particular table. So for that, what I have to do is I'm just removing all of these. I'm writing a query called select star from your table name, employee table. And remember guys, you need to understand you are using the current database schema, that is training. So if you don't use this command, you will not be able to get the required data. First, whenever you start working on the table, first use this command and using the command use and then your database, then you can execute the queries whatever you want. Now select star from employee. So when you say select star from employee, so this is used to pull all the records from that particular table. So let's say go execute and go to query. There is a statement current, execute current statement. You can use control enter also. Click on that, and if you see whatever the records we have inserted, all those records have come. Pavan, Ramu, Venkat, Raja, Kalyan, Vamshi, and along with the employee city's name. So this is one way of displaying the data. Whenever somebody asks you a question, how do you display the total number of records in a particular table with the data? So if they ask you the total number of records, like the entire table, if you have to show, then you have to use select star from employee. But sometimes what happens, they may ask you to display only the count of the records. Let us say how many records we have, 1 to 6. So we have total 6 records in this particular table. Okay. So now if somebody asks you to display the count of the records, what you have to do is select count within the brackets star from employee. That is the table. Whatever the table you are using, you can give that. You select that and try to run this query. Then automatically you will be able to see the total number of records in this particular table. So first query will display the total records in that particular table along with the data, that is select star from employee, and select count star will give you the total number of records count. It will not display the data. So these are the important questions asked in any manual testing interview or any of the database testing interviews. So these are very basic questions. Okay. And now if I go back and run this query, see here what is going to happen. I see again all the records. Now what I wanted to do is I wanted to see only employee name and employee city. I don't want to see ID and employee age. That means what you have to do is you have to write select and then whatever the columns you wanted to display, I wanted to display employee name, comma, employee city from employee. So if you wanted to display only these two from that particular table, and if you run the query, then automatically you will be able to see only the columns which you have written in your select query. That means there are so many things you can do using your select query. Using select query, you can display all the records. You can display the count of the records using count star statements, and you can display the columns whichever you require. For example, if you want to display only one column, you just write one column and then write this and execute the query. Then automatically you will be able to see the column, required column. And if you wanted to write all of them, instead of see, you can write all the column names: ID, employee name, and employee age, and employee city. So you can write like this and then execute the query. There also you will be able to see all the records. But what is the point of writing all of these? Instead of writing all of these, then simply we go and write star. Star means everything in the table. But if at all you want only specific columns, at that time you will write only the specific columns and then you will write the query, and then you will execute it. Automatically you will be able to see that. And count star also you have understood. Now what we wanted to do is, I'll just show you this one more time, the select star from employee. If you look at here, the employee cities are Hyderabad, Bangalore, and Mumbai, and Bangalore is there. But so in the interview they might ask you, how do you display the different or unique cities from the particular table? So how many unique cities? When I say unique cities, if you look at Hyderabad got repeated here, and if you see Bangalore also got repeated. But whenever the interviewer asks you to display only the unique cities, means you have to display Hyderabad only one time, even though it is displaying for 4 times, and Bangalore and then Mumbai you have to display. That means Hyderabad, Bangalore, Mumbai. There are three different cities are there in the table. So now what I am going to do is select. I wanted to display unique. For that you need to remember a keyword, that is distinct. So distinct, whatever the column you are looking at, distinct city from employee. So if you write like this, automatically you will be able to display the distinct cities in this particular table. Execute the statement and see Hyderabad, Bangalore, and Mumbai. So if you don't use this keyword, if you don't use delete distinct keyword, then what it will display? It will display all the cities which are available in the table. So that is the major difference between your uh, distinct keyword and without distinct. You will be able to display the details, whatever the details your interviewer is expecting from you. You can write that query and display. If they ask you exclusively distinct, then you have to write the distinct keyword. And now, for example, the interviewer asked you how many distinct cities are there. Now you ran this query and you are displaying like this, but the interviewer asked you, no, no, I don't want to see these three like this. I wanted to see only the count of the records. When I say count of the records, you immediately need to remember the keyword count. So you have to use a keyword called count and put the employee city, distinct employee city in the bracket, and then try to run the query. Then obviously you will be able to display the total number of unique records are 3. So this is how there are most of the questions asked in your basic interview in the manual testing with respect to the database, or some of the questions related to select star statement. Okay, select star statement means it will pull all the records. Count star will give you the total number of records count, and you can write your own required columns. You can write a distinct keyword, and you can also count the distinct values also using this. Okay, so these are some of the important things. We'll discuss the rest of the things in the next session.